Hi friends, and welcome to our humble homestead. If you're new here, I'm Hannah and I live in our tiny house with our family of 8, though it's not technically considered like a tiny house anymore, though we are living tiny for the amount of people we have in our square footage. Anyway, if you're returning, I wanted to thank you guys for all the love on the last video I did about keto meals that I prep for Shabbat. I really enjoyed sharing that with you guys, and I appreciate y'all's patience with motherhood and the messy kitchen and all that fun jazz. My husband and I are on a ketogenic diet, mainly to try to help inflammation in the body. We've both realized we feel a lot better when we don't have artificial sweeteners and carbs and all that fun jazz. However, biblical feast season is almost upon us. And our kids definitely still like having baked goods around, so I am currently on a journey of trying to find healthy treats that don't hurt our long-term goals, if you will. After I filmed last week's video, I actually did do some last-minute baking. It was like, it was done about 10 minutes before the sun set. It just worked out. We made Lee's pumpkin custard. I'll link her video. If you're not subscribed to Little House on the Mountain, you should be. And that pumpkin custard was delicious. Certainly not paleo because of the pumpkin and the maple syrup, but it was delicious, and it was something we were able to enjoy guilt-free. Those in the Torah observant community know that some of us have slightly different calendars. I don't want to get into all that. That's not the point. But some of our family friends have Sukkot coming up, and we're going to be celebrating with them. So I thought, what a great opportunity to practice making some healthier treats for us to try out and see if we want to keep these in rotation. I know people's opinions on what is healthy might vary. I'm not really trying to trigger anybody. Like I said, still kind of in our journey, we have learned that we can handle dairy, so I guess these aren't technically considered paleo. And I thought about it after the fact, after getting all the ingredients. Probably the worst thing in all the foods I'm going to be making is sweetened condensed milk. Oh, yeah, that's definitely not keto. That's a lot of added sugar. Lord of mercy, it's fine. It's fine. I'm going to be remaking Lee's pumpkin custard, because you just have to. You have to have something pumpkin flavored for the fall. You just do. And I'm gonna try, I don't know if you guys have seen it, I have shared it on here and on Instagram. I have discovered date mousse, and oh my word, it's my favorite thing ever. And while I can't handle artificial sugars, and I think maple syrup actually does give me a headache, I can handle honey and dates as sweeteners. So I'm also a humongous fan of cheesecake. So I'm gonna try to make a cheesecake with dates. I found it's actually kind of hard to find date recipes, even on Pinterest, at least for me it was. I'm gonna loosely use one that I found as kind of a suggestion, because I want to try putting the date mousse the way I like it as a topping on top of the cheesecake. So let's see how this goes. Should I do the cheesecake filling first or the date topping? Let's do the topping, because I actually know what I'm doing with that. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take some dates. I actually have 2 partially open bags. I'm not quite sure how that happened. So I'm going to take 15 of these and take the pits out. I like the pitted dates because they tend to be softer than the ones that have already been pitted. They're just like juicier, super delicious. And again, I know they are not keto friendly, but they're delicious and it's okay. So again, this is not an everyday indulgence, but anyway, I'm gonna take 15 of these, put them in the pot, and I'm going to put in just enough water to coat these. I'm gonna put the water on to boil. Then I'm going to, once it reaches a boil, turn off the water and let it sit there for 15 minutes. This will soften the dates and make them easily blendable. I know some of you may be wondering, why not just follow the recipe that you found online? And I'm sure it's a very nice recipe. It's just, she blended up the dates, and then that was it. No other flavors were added to them. And then the cheesecake's supposed to be topped with caramel, and caramel's delicious. And I do know how to make it myself, which is kind of dangerous information. But again, I don't want to make this ridden with a bunch of artificial sugars. So now that I know a delicious way to make dates, I want to try just using the dates with the cinnamon and the butter and all that fun jazz, and try that as our topping. Okay, so I figure while that's doing its thing, we can get started on the cheesecake layer of our dessert. Does anyone else get like this false sense of security in the kitchen where you're like, I don't need the instructions, I can just write down the ingredients? Okay, so normally they use graham crackers for the crust, which is pretty standard. I don't want to use graham crackers, so I'm just going to use almond flour and melted butter. I'm not going to add sugar. So I'm going to try this and hope for the best. So I believe I have all the ingredients I need here. Got the cream cheese warmed up, vanilla extract, my condensed milk, and 2 eggs. Oh, in the original she called for walnuts, and I thought she must have meant pecans. So we're going to generously butter my cheesecake pan, spring foam pan, whatever you want to call it. Spring foam. The pan. We're going to butter it, and when my other butter is done melting, I'm going to mix it in with some almond flour. Also, these have now reached a boil, so I'm going to turn this off and set a 15-minute timer. And I know somebody's gonna be like, girl, why is your sink always full? I have filled, washed, and emptied this 3 times already. That is just the reality of the situation when you are an ingredient-only family and you don't have a dishwasher. So, yeah. For the raw, shabby chic look here. And I think we're gonna reach it. I misspoke. We did the crust, and the dates are soft, so we're gonna go ahead and do the date part, then the cheesecake part. Yeah. It's almost like you're really here, right? Not at all like a cooking show. Okay, so first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drain my dates. These already smell amazing. Woo! So first we're gonna take a ½ cup of milk. Normally we have a nice raw milk put them, but they're calving now, so it's okay. All right, so I'm gonna use ½ a teaspoon of cinnamon, ish, and plus also ½ a teaspoon of salt. I'm gonna use my 1/4 measurement twice. And then I use 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And I'm also going to throw in a couple of pads of butter. We love some butter around here. When that cinnamon hits the dates, it smells so good. You smell this and you're like, I'll have the carbs. I'll have the carbs, it's worth it. Just a little more. So we've got this type of consistency. You see the steam? If they made a candle that smelled like this, oh my goodness. I don't think I would ever buy another scent, ever. Okie dokie, so we're just gonna set that to the side, and now we should be doing our cheesecake part. By the way, I'm sorry if I'm kind of speeding through this. I'm just trying to do this before my baby gets hungry and or sleepy. So I just wrote down the ingredients and not the direction, but it's all pretty much the same thing. I normally make cheesecake quite a good bit. Okay, so this only calls for only 1 package of cream cheese, when normally when I make cream cheese, it's 4. So this is gonna be very thin. Okay, so I'm gonna just start with simply blending the cream cheese to get it soft. Then I plan to add the condensed milk and incorporate my eggs one by one. Ah, I missed. Poor thing. Okay, so now we're just gonna add more vanilla. It looks like pudding. It smells really yummy. Yeah, this is gonna be a very thin layer of cheesecake, which I think means it's gonna taste really, really sweet with that sweetened condensed milk. Yeah, I'm wondering if for next time if I might try to find a substitute for the sweetened condensed milk. If you guys know of a really good substitute, please let me know. And now for the best part. So as you can see, it was too thick to be a topping, so I wound up just swirling it in, kind of like a marble cake. So we'll see how this goes. Alrighty, so we're about to pop this in the oven at 300 for about 45-ish minutes. Turn it on. You know what? Actually, it's a good thing that I forgot to turn on the oven, because I remembered you're supposed to do a water bath, so we're gonna get that set up. Okay guys, that is the end of this spazzy baking vlog. Thanks for bearing with me. I'm currently prepping other food for Shabbat right now, but I so appreciate you guys sticking around and baking with me. I'll let you guys know how it goes on Sunday. So yeah, because Sunday is when we're sharing it with our friends. So I hope you guys have a lovely day. Bye friends.